The irony of Kodak, how the company that invented the digital camera failed the digital transition. Part 1, The Empire of the Yellow Box, Early 20th Century, 1970s. The story of the Kodak company is not just a tale of technological failure, it is a tragic outline of how inventive genius was suppressed by the fear of disrupting a profitable and well-established business model. For the better part of the 20th century, Kodak was synonymous with photography, ruling the industry with an almost absolute monopoly. The company's founder, George Eastman, was more than just a businessman, he was an art democratizer. In the late 19th century, photography was the domain of professionals, cumbersome cameras, heavy glass plates, and complex chemical processes. Eastman changed all that by introducing the Kodak No. 1 camera in 1888 with the legendary slogan, "You press the button, we do the rest." Eastman understood that the real money was not in selling cameras, but in selling consumables. He created a brilliant business model: sell inexpensive cameras and reap colossal profits from selling chemicals, photo paper, and, most importantly, film. This model, based on continuous consumption, was known as the razors and blades approach and provided Kodak with unprecedented financial stability. Throughout the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, Kodak was the embodiment of American corporate power. Its yellow and red logo and yellow film boxes were everywhere, from family albums to Hollywood sets. The company controlled up to 90% of the film market in the US and possessed massive factories, research centers, and a logistics chain refined over decades. The profits generated from film and chemicals were so high that they allowed the company to avoid the need for serious innovation for years. Kodak's management lived in a comfortable reality where success was guaranteed by the very existence of their business model. Part 2, The Quiet Alarm Clock, 1975. The irony of Kodak's story begins in a quiet, secluded lab in Rochester, New York, in 1975. It was here that a young engineer named Stephen Sasson was given an assignment by his superiors: find out if it was possible to create a camera without film. Sasson and his team invented not just a device, but a radically new concept for image capture. Sasson's camera was bulky, the size of a toaster, weighing almost 4 kilograms, 8 pounds, and used a compact cassette tape to record images. Most importantly, it used a charge-coupled device, CCD, which converted light into electrical signals, creating a digital image. Technical specifications of the first digital camera. Resolution, 0.01 megapixels, 10,000 pixels. Time to record a single shot onto the cassette, 23 seconds. Viewing method, the image was projected onto a standard television set. When Sasson presented his invention to the management, the reaction was telling. The legend goes he was told, "That's cute, but who would want to look at pictures on a television?" The real problem was not the technology, it was the business. Kodak management, which was earning billions from film sales, saw digital photography not as an opportunity but as an existential threat. Sasson had invented a weapon that could destroy the very empire that hired him. The internal conflict. An internal struggle unfolded at Kodak between the technologists and the managers. The technologists understood that the future was digital and that competitors would eventually reach the same point. The managers, who controlled the financial streams, were focused on protecting the golden goose, the market for chemicals and film. Their strategy boiled down to the formula: research, but do not release to the market. The company patented Sasson's inventions, securing key rights to digital photography, but shelved them. Part 3, A Decade of Missed Opportunities, 1980s, 1990s. For the next 2 decades, Kodak played a double game. It was a leader in developing digital technology and, simultaneously, its biggest break. In the 1980s, while Japanese companies like Sony and Canon began experimenting with digital cameras, Kodak was engaged in the following. Continued research. The company constantly improved CCD sensors, developed compression algorithms, JPEG, and created advanced digital printing machines. Kodak invested billions in digital research to ensure that if the market did change, they would have the best possible product. Attempts to digitalize film. Instead of fully transitioning to digital, Kodak focused on creating hybrid solutions that would not require abandoning film. The most famous example was the photo CD, 1992. The idea was that users would drop off their film, Kodak would develop it, and additionally record the images onto a compact disc. This was an attempt to tie the consumer to film using digital convenience, but it failed because it required an intermediate step and was not convenient enough. Ignoring consumer trends, when the first truly digital cameras appeared in the mid-90s, such as the Apple QuickTake, created with Kodak's participation, Kodak's leadership failed to grasp their potential. They believed the image quality was not high enough to replace traditional film, failing to understand that for the consumer, immediacy and ease of sharing were more important than laboratory-grade quality. Internal analytical reports circulated within the company accurately predicted the destructive potential of digital technology. One such report in the 1990s clearly showed that the digital transition was inevitable and that film profits would disappear. Yet, the management's reaction was, "Great analysis, but it just shows how much we need to protect our film business." Kodak's strategy was built on the false premise that they had plenty of time to manage the transition and that they could earn as much from digital printing as they did from film. They failed to account for the fact that once an image becomes digital, it instantly becomes free to share and does not require printing. Part 4, The Onslaught of Competitors and the Delayed Reaction, 2000 to 2006. The beginning of the 21st century was a disaster for Kodak. While Kodak continued to protect its old model, competitors, unburdened by past success, acted aggressively. Sony, Canon, and Nikon captured the digital camera market, offering devices at accessible prices. Hewlett-Packard, HP, and Epson dominated the home photo printer market, stripping Kodak of control over printing. The internet destroyed the need for physical development. Platforms like Flickr and later Facebook emerged, where photo sharing was instantaneous and free. In the early 2000s, Kodak finally realized the need for radical change and tried to catch up, but it was already too late. Attempts to catch up. The company released the successful EasyShare series of digital cameras and developed convenient printing docks. They tried to reorient the business towards consumer printing by opening photo printing kiosks in stores. However, even these efforts were undermined by old thinking. The film and digital divisions competed for resources, and the old guard managing the company continued to dominate. Management, accustomed to the 70 to 80% margins of film, could not accept the 5 to 10% margins of the digital business. They constantly demanded unrealistically high profits from the digital division, thereby stifling its growth. As a result, Kodak, possessing the patents for key digital technologies, failed to capitalize on them. They invented the camera, but failed to invent a new business model for the digital world. Part 5, Collapse and Legacy, 2007 to 2012. The final blow was delivered by the smartphone. With the launch of the Apple iPhone in 2007, the camera became a function of the phone, instantly killing the market for low-end compact digital cameras that Kodak was betting on with EasyShare. Users no longer needed a separate device for shooting and sharing. Kodak's profit, which amounted to billions in the 1990s, plummeted to millions, and then into losses. Timeline of the downfall. 2007 to 2010, company losses rapidly increase, job cuts become massive. The company attempts to monetize its vast patent portfolios by filing lawsuits against Apple, Samsung, and others. January 2012, Eastman Kodak Company files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. This was the dramatic end of an empire nearly 120 years old. The bankruptcy was caused not by a lack of innovation, but by corporate inertia and the management's inability to accept that their most profitable model had to be destroyed by their own invention. Ultimately, Kodak emerged from bankruptcy, focusing on commercial printing and materials for the film industry, but its dominance in the consumer market was gone forever. The irony of Kodak remains one of the most cautionary tales in business history. They created the future but refused to embrace it. Their story is proof that often the greatest threat to a company lies not in external competitors, but in its own past success.